I showed up to Thanksgiving knowing my sister stole my insurance payout. I was not ready for the chaos that followed. I still remember walking into my parents' house that Thanksgiving. The smell of turkey and pumpkin filled the air, but all I could think about was the insurance payout they'd cut me out of. Betrayal hung over the table like a storm cloud, and Vanessa acted as if she had done nothing at all. I am Alex, 32, a software developer who has always been careful with money, careful with trust, and unfortunately, careful around people who pretend to be family. I have always been the reliable one, the one who kept receipts, the one who made sure bills were paid and promises were honored. My sister Vanessa, on the other hand, was charming and manipulative. The type who could smile while doing something she knew would hurt me the moment I stepped inside. Mom greeted me with a tight smile that did not reach her eyes. "Alex, your sister got the insurance payout," she said casually, as if announcing the weather. "You do not need it." There it was, the line that shattered the morning. A line that was supposed to dismiss me, to make me feel small, to make me silent. I simply asked, "Did she really?" My voice was calm, but I could see the flicker of panic in Vanessa's eyes as she sipped her coffee. I took my seat at the table, my mind racing through every document, every email, every phone call that proved the payout was mine by rights. The smell of pumpkin pie and roasted turkey mixed with the bitter taste of betrayal. Vanessa's grin was smug, as if she had won something by default, and my parents just looked at me, waiting for me to cave. Waiting for me to be grateful for crumbs. I could feel the subtle glances from cousins and aunts, the whispered words, the unspoken judgments. Thanksgiving had always been a day of gratitude, but this year it was a stage for exposing lies. My hands rested on the table, fingering the edge of the napkin, steadying myself. I had planned this moment for weeks. I had all the proof I needed, and I was not going to let their silence protect her any longer. Vanessa started talking about her plans with the money, the new car she bought, and the vacation she insisted she deserved. Every word she spoke felt like a nail in the coffin of our relationship. I let her ramble, listening patiently, before I finally spoke. "Vanessa, did you really take the insurance payout that was meant for me?" My words were calm, deliberate. Silence fell across the table like a heavy curtain. The sound of forks clinking against plates seemed impossibly loud. Mom's face went pale, and Vanessa's smile faltered. "Alex, it is complicated," Mom started, but I interrupted her, letting the words hang in the air. Complicated? Or convenient for her? Convenient for everyone to ignore what is rightfully mine? The relatives around the table stiffened. I could see my younger cousins exchanging shocked glances. And even my father, normally the loudest voice in the room, looked unsure. I pulled out my phone, showing every document, every email, and every bank statement that proved my case. Vanessa tried to snatch it from me, her hands trembling. "Give it back, Alex. This is not fair," she yelled. But fairness had nothing to do with this. It was truth, and the truth was finally visible and bright. Undeniable clarity. "You see this?" I said, pointing to the highlighted transactions. "This money was meant for me. The insurance payout after the accident, the one Dad and Mom promised to divide fairly. This proves it went straight to your account without my knowledge. And yet here we are, pretending nothing happened." The room was frozen. Every family member had a front row seat to Vanessa's unraveling. Her facade of innocence cracked with each passing second. The smug smile that had haunted me for years disappeared entirely. "Alex, She started, but I did not let her finish. "No, Vanessa. You have said enough for all of us. You took what was not yours, and Thanksgiving is the day everyone finally sees it." My voice carried through the dining room, steady and unyielding. "I trusted you, and you betrayed me. And Mom, Dad, I trusted you, too. But you all thought keeping quiet would keep the peace?" My mother's eyes welled up with tears. My father shifted uncomfortably in his chair. For a moment, it was like the house itself was holding its breath. Every secret, every hidden conversation, every excuse had led to this moment, and now it was exposed. Vanessa's hand shook as she finally dropped her fork. "I did not know it would cause this much," she stammered. But it was too late. The damage was done. The betrayal had been laid bare, and there was no turning back. I felt a strange calm wash over me. The anger that had bubbled inside me for weeks, the sleepless nights thinking about the injustice, it all seemed to settle into clarity. Betrayal hurts, yes, but it also reveals character. And now, everyone could see hers. I spent the rest of the day with careful distance, enjoying the parts of Thanksgiving that were untouched by lies. The laughter of my younger cousins, the aroma of fresh pies, the warmth of the few relatives who actually valued honesty. Vanessa tried to speak to me several times, but I stayed firm. This was not about punishment. It was about truth. The payout was not just money. It was validation, respect, and justice. Later that evening, as the sun set and the turkey leftovers were packed away, Vanessa sat alone in the kitchen. I passed by carrying my plate. "You know, it does not feel good to be exposed," I said quietly. She did not respond. And in that silence, I realized something important. Betrayal might hurt, but it also clears the path for freedom. By the time I left my parents' house, the weight that had been pressing down on me for months had lifted slightly. Thanksgiving, which had always been a day of family unity, had become the day of reckoning. Vanessa's betrayal was no longer a secret, and I no longer carried it alone. I had spoken the truth, shown the proof, and taken back what was rightfully mine. The insurance payout had been just the tip of the iceberg. It was the principle that mattered, the respect that was owed, and the acknowledgement of what true family should look like. That night, as I drove home through streets lit by the warm glow of autumn lights, I felt a mix of emotions: anger, relief, and even a strange sense of gratitude. Gratitude that the truth had come out, that the lies had been exposed, and that I had faced betrayal head-on rather than letting it fester. Thanksgiving had shattered the silence, and in doing so, had given me clarity and closure. I have since learned that betrayal is not always about the money. It is about trust, and how easily some people will trample it if it serves their convenience. Vanessa's smile will always haunt me in memories, but it no longer has power over my present. I have set boundaries, reclaimed my worth, and ensured that nothing, especially money or deceit, can undermine my dignity again. Family gatherings will never be the same. Thanksgiving will always carry the memory of that confrontation. The documents spread across the table, the silence that spoke louder than words. In the eyes of relatives witnessing truth finally take its place. But the experience also taught me a valuable lesson. Standing up for yourself is not selfish. It is necessary. And sometimes it is the only way to preserve your integrity in the face of betrayal. Vanessa and I may never be close again, but I no longer feel wronged. I feel empowered. The insurance payout was important, yes, but what mattered more was reclaiming my voice, my dignity, and my place in the family's moral ledger. Every Thanksgiving after that, I remember the day differently. Not as a day of betrayal, but as a day I refused to stay silent. A day that taught me that the truth, once revealed, can be stronger than any lie. And most importantly, a day that proved that standing up for what is yours, whether it is money, respect, or acknowledgement, is always worth it. So to anyone watching this story on my channel, remember, never let anyone steal your peace, your rights, or your voice. Thanksgiving may be about family, but it is also about truth. And truth cannot be ignored forever. If you enjoyed this story, do not forget to like and subscribe for more shocking real-life stories of betrayal, revenge, and justice. Your support helps us bring more stories where silence is shattered and truths are revealed.